Is the Fanttik NEX L1 Pro the ultimate power screwdriver for your garage and home? Well, we're going to find out because I'm going to abuse this thing. Alright guys, welcome back to my garage. Thanks for joining. Today I'm going to talk about a very helpful power tool that I think every shop and household needs. One thing that I always keep handy in my garage is a power screwdriver. For years I use this basic Black & Decker version, and I go through one about every year or so just because I use it so much that I wear it out. Now, to follow up on a previous video where I reviewed the Fanttik T8 Apex jump starter, which I consider to be one of the better jump starters on the market, I recently got my hands on the Fanttik NEX L1 Pro power screwdriver. So let's start by talking about the details. Here's the box that it comes in. On the back, kind of gives you an overview of everything, which I'm going to go over all this with you right now. That's pretty cool. This is pretty cool too. It's got kind of a how to use, so they don't leave you in the dark on all the cool features this thing has. Little magnet. User manual. It's got a lot of information in here. So I'll get into the accessories in a second. Let's take a look at the main unit here. Ergonomics feels pretty good. If you're a firearms enthusiast, this is going to feel kind of like a Glock actually. It's got about the same grip angle, which I find pretty interesting. So I mentioned a Black & Decker before that I've used, and I've used these for years, but I go through one probably every year or so because I just beat the crap out of it, and I end up killing it. So the ergonomics is pretty similar. It actually has a better grip angle, I think, than the Black & Decker. This is designed in California. They do make these in other colors as well. They come in yellow, blue, and green in addition to the gray that I have here. So let's talk about the cool parts of this that I think really got my attention. Is first of all, this digital display screen that you can see right there. This will show you the screw direction and the torque setting and even the battery charge, so you don't have to guess on that, and then it turns off automatically, as you can see. So we're going to talk about, let's see here, we turn it on, and it looks like it's fully charged, but I'm still going to charge it before I use it anyway. Good practice to do, but it shows the direction that the screw is going to go in, and then the torque setting. I'll get into the torque settings a little bit. But what's neat about this, it's powered by the strongest rare earth motor of its type, and it's got an all-metal transmission in it. Now, I've broken the plastic gears in this one quite a few times. That's why I have to keep replacing it. But I was also using it in a way I probably shouldn't have. That's what happens, I suppose. Now, this thing isn't meant to replace a power drill, of course. This is more for light-duty work around the garage and the house. But you know what? I'm already pretty impressed with the feel of it, the heft of it, and the features so far. Now, it does have, as I mentioned, let's see here, 6 torque settings all the way from a 0.5 Newton meter to a 6 Newton meter. So you can have precise stepless control for different usage scenarios. Like the lowest torque setting is perfect for precision tasks like working on PC motherboards or something delicate like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge it up, and then we're going to see how the trigger works and some more features. Hang tight. Okay, even though it showed as charged when I first opened it up, I want to make sure it is fully charged before I start using it. So I did actually accidentally kind of bump the trigger on it, and what I really like about this is that, I'll get to that light in a minute by the way, is that it's got pretty precise controls. Just like a power drill, you can control the speed as necessary. Black & Decker, it's pretty much on or it's off. So you can be a little more precise with this. And speaking of which, I mentioned those LED lights. That's pretty helpful right there to see all the way around, so it's not going to be blocked by something that you're working on. Black & Decker doesn't have one. They do make some that do have lights, but it's usually just one little LED light right there. I really like how this has a ring of lights that can't be blocked. In fact, you can see you can turn the lights on without even actually fully turning pulling the trigger on it and making it spin, which is kind of cool and helpful. Now let's talk about the battery. Inside is a Samsung 18650 lithium-ion 2000 milliamp rechargeable battery, and it has a USB charging port, and I'll get to that in just a second. But according to Fanttik, this can screw up to 260 screws on a single charge, and they're specifying that that's a 3.5 by 30 millimeter on pine. But I'm going to see what else it can do in a bit. But let's get back to that USB-C rechargeable. As you saw, it comes with the charging cable. Comparing again to my old Black & Decker, it has this proprietary charging cable. So basically, if this charger goes bad, you can't use this anymore. USB-C is becoming really, really popular, and I like that they're using something that can be used in a lot of other things as well. I've already got a USB-C cable plugged into my power strip here for my GoPro camera, so I can just keep on using that for this as well. And let's get into these accessories here. Comes with an extender, a long bit, different types of bits here. So you get pretty much everything that you need to get started on this. And since we're talking about those bits, it uses standard 1/4 inch bits. So I've got a million of these. You probably do as well. Now here's what's really cool about this. It's got a patented shark chuck. And what that means is you take the bit and just push it in there, and it's locked in. But for it to come out, see that pop? That means it comes right on out. It's pretty cool. So it's gonna grab the bit during while you're working with it, but it's pretty easy just to remove it when you need it. So as I mentioned, I'm gonna see what this thing can do. Let's go out to my workshop out back, and I'm gonna put it through its paces. Okay guys, I'm out in my workshop. I got a piece of deck board, and I got some of these Power Pro multi-material 10 by 2.5 screws. I got a bunch of them here, and they require a special bit. I got that bit. So I'm going to see how the Fanttik does, but first I'm actually going to see how the old Black & Decker does, see what it can do, and then we'll show a comparison. All right, let's try the Fanttik. Still love that shark bit. What do they call it? The shark chuck. That's what it is. Really like that. I wish every screwdriver had one of those. So anyway, geez. Okay, forward. See how this guy does. Do it over here. Not bad. Okay, now let's really put it to the test. Wow. Okay, let's see if we can do another one. I don't think I'm supposed to use it this way, but I'm going to find out. I'm curious. Oh, it's struggling, but it's definitely doing it. Let's, just for kicks, let's go back and see how this guy did. This is fun. Here we go. Ugh. It's gonna die. This thing's getting hot in my hand. So this thing, let's have it finish the job. Oh, what the heck? Let's do one more. Let's press our luck. All right, let's do one more. Let's make it an even half dozen. What do you say? Oh, shoot. Hold on. I really got to push hard, keep this bit in place. It's a little stripped. I've used it a few times. All right. Hold on. There we go. This thing is unstoppable for a little cordless screwdriver. One more. I'll bring it over here so you can see it. Oh! Ah! All right, this is kind of a bummer because after that mishap, I didn't know, but the camera shut off. So I didn't get to show you that I actually did use this guy to drill 12 of those into here. This is the 12th one. It started getting a little tired right there, and it started getting a little warm. But it took this thing one or two, well, I don't remember what I did now, but one or two to start getting warm and start getting worn out. I just drilled 12 of these into this wood, and it used up a quarter of the power. And it still works fine. Just got a little warm, but I don't really think you're supposed to do stuff like this. This stuff, sure, no problem. This, I don't think it was designed to do that, but it still did all right. You could really do a lot of work with this that a normal cheap one can't do. Now, there's nothing wrong with this one. It's a good $20 power screwdriver, but it is nothing compared to this guy. I am pretty impressed. Just sorry I couldn't show you all of the ones that I did, but you got my word. Every single one of these was done by this, and it just started getting tired right there. So, not bad. Now, I hope you are as impressed with this thing as what I am right now, because I really put it through its paces. I used it in a way that I really probably shouldn't have. And you could see that even though it got the job done by driving those screws into that piece of pretty dense wood, it was pretty much at its maximum amount of strength on that. But then I got thinking about that. Remember that torque setting that I told you about? Well, I also wanted to give it another test. So what I got here is I've got this is just a solar panel for a lantern that we have in our backyard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on, well, first of all, the highest torque setting and put it in reverse. I'm going to put this precision bit in, and then I'm going to take this apart. Uh-oh. Well, see, it shows you how flimsy this thing is. What I want to do is, this is just cheap plastic. So what I want to do is I want to see how delicate this thing can be for precision work. So, oops, this whole thing's falling apart. Again, pretty cheap. Now I'm going to change this torque setting down to 1. Now 1 is 1/2 Newton meter, 2 is 1 Newton meter, 3 is 1.5 Newton meters, 4 is 3 Newton meters, 5 is 4.5 Newton meters, and then 6 is, of course, 6 Newton meters. I think that's the only drawback, is that it's a little confusing. I don't know how precise you want to get with this, but I'm going to put it on 1. I'm going to put it in forward, and then I'm going to see how this works when it comes to, obviously, very cheap, cheap plastic. So, which one broke? Okay, so I'll only be able to do 2 here. And you can see it stopped. So it didn't break it anymore. So you can really work on some delicate stuff, and it just knows. Get around here so you can see it. Just stops all by itself. Pretty cool, man. So it shows that you can work on some hardcore stuff. You can work on some delicate stuff, even especially if it's cheap and flimsy, and just about anything will break it. I gotta tell you, this is a great all-around power screwdriver. I've not really seen anything like it quite yet. Again, I can't say enough things about the Shark Chuck, and of course the packaging, the quality, the materials, the power, the abuse that I put it through. This is a winner. It really is. I'm impressed. Good job, Fanttik. This is a very, very nice power screwdriver, and I really like the big power and delicate precision that it offers. Now again, we can't expect it to completely replace an actual power drill like this one, but I've proven that it can do a heck of a lot more than a standard power screwdriver can. Now, even though I pretty much abused it in my workshop, it still performed flawlessly when I recently assembled a Prusa Mini Plus 3D printer. Now, if you've ever assembled one of those, you know there's a lot of hardware to secure, and it did really great with no signs of wear whatsoever, considering the test that I put it through. Now, I'm going to retire the old Black & Decker power screwdriver out to my workshop out back, and I'm going to keep this Fanttik here in Jason's garage. Now, if you want to get your hands on one, and I recommend that you do for your garage or house, you can get them for under $50 before discounts, and that's in the kit that I showed you today, and there's a couple places that you can get it. One is on Amazon, and the other is direct from Fanttik, and I'll put links in the description below. Hit the links and get yours. I don't think you'll be sorry. So this is the second video that I've reviewed so far from Fanttik, and I'm overall impressed with both of them. So in an upcoming video, I'm going to put their newly released Fanttik X8 Apex air inflator to the test, head-to-head against my Milwaukee M12 inflator, and even putting it up against my trusty Viair inflator. Now, if you want to see the results, be sure to subscribe. I'm curious myself to see how this new X8 does against them. We're going to find out, so stick around. By the way, Fanttik also has a small precision screwdriver available. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a test and review of that as well. But anyway, let me know if you have any questions about this Fanttik NEX L1 Pro. And by the way, what did you think of the title of this video? I thought I'd have a little bit of fun. But anyway, as always, thanks for hanging out in Jason's garage with me. Let me know what else you'd like to see me review in the future, and I'll see you in my next video. Stay tuned.